I didn't want to lose who I was and the things that I pride myself on, because as soon as I lost that, I knew that I was going to feel like, what is my point? Where is my worth?
Have you tried yoga? Maybe you should see a psychiatrist. Are you stressed? Change your diet, acupuncture, try stretching, sleep. You've been doing so well. Stop stressing, anxiety. Functional?
Functionality.
Welcome to the Functionality Podcast. I'm your host, Tasha. The tea of the day is Jamaican peppermint and passion flower tea. It's delicious. So let's talk. What's the tea on FND and Independence? I read in a book one day that there's no such thing as independence. Rather, there's self-sufficiency, because we all actually are dependent on each other in one way or another. So maybe the title of this episode should be What's the Tea on FND and Self-Sufficient? But that's really neither here nor there. What I do have to say about that is I have always been a very self-sufficient, independent type of person. I have been I'll figure it outer. I can do it by myselfer. I'd rather do it by myselfer. And I know that that could be a little bit to my detriment, because people are here, obviously, like I just said, that to help each other. We really should be able to help each other. However, I just get such a kick out of being able to watch my brain work, feel my brain work, and work itself through a challenge to learn something new, to make it to the other side, to succeeding for something that I've never done. I love it. I absolutely love being able to do things by myself and just say, yeah, I did that. For example, when one time I went to the store, just me and Mommy Junior, and I wasn't expecting to buy anything. And then I found this shelving unit. It's a kind of pantry type of deal that I wanted to bring home. And so I purchased it, and the employees loaded it up into the back of my little Honda HRV, and I was ready to go. So off I go, and then I get home, get into my garage, and I was like, how the hell am I going to get this into my house? I have no idea. But was I going to call someone or say, well, guess it's going to be in the trunk until I can figure it out? Absolutely not, because that's not the kind of person that I am. So I strong-armed it. I pulled it out and tried to just bear all the weight on my chest and everything like that. Had to put a blanket down at the doorstep so that I could drag it in, but I got it done. That's really the point of the story, is that I got it done. And that is just a small example of my perseverance, and just that I am going to get things done. It doesn't matter who is going to help me, or if no one's going to help me, I'm going to get it done. But now things have changed. Since starting to experience symptoms of FND, things have changed significantly when it comes to that. And I hated it. I don't like it. I am still getting used to it. Those are all the factual statements that I just made. But the truest statement that I can make is the fact that I have accepted the fact that some things have changed, and that certain things that were more certain before are not as certain as they used to be. So what my thing is, that things are going to change, of course, right? So if they haven't changed already, and the sooner you can accept where you are presently, the less you are likely to lose, and the quicker you will probably be able to regain some of what has been seemingly lost. So once you really just accept the fact of, like, this is where I am presently, this is not where I want to live, I don't want to live in this space, but this is exactly where I am, then you can reach back more towards where you came from, or even where you want to go, because we really never want to go backwards. But it's difficult to accept the fact that things are going to change, but change is just inevitable. That's a whole part of life. So once we accept where we are presently, then we can kind of get our perspective focused on, okay, this is where I want to go from here. And so mindset is the biggest focus for this entire disorder. And independence is one of those things that it will be stripped away from you the quickest. When you deal with these type of symptoms, you're lonely and you're isolated, and you're dealing with these things in your body by yourself. But at the same time, your independence is being snatched too. So not only can you not really do things for yourself, but then you're also experiencing it by yourself. So that's rough. It's really rough. And that's why mindset is such a big focus for this disorder. And once you can really tune in to your mindset, or tune up your mindset, and get a mindset that is positive. The whole thing about mindfulness, that's not a joke. It's really not a joke. It's really not something that is just trendy and doesn't work at all. It really works and it really is helpful. Saying and even thinking you can't will actually set those thoughts into reality. So at the same time, or on the flip side of that, saying and thinking that you can will make that will create your reality. You're actually creating that to happen. So if you're saying, oh, I'm not independent anymore and I can't do anything without someone else, well, then you absolutely cannot. You probably can't. It will be very difficult for you to get to a point where you can do that. However, if you say, I'm having a difficult time walking today, but I know that I can walk soon. I know that I will be able to do this independently again. That whole mindset is going to shift how you approach your situation and how you approach just your current environment. And it changed my life. It really, really did change my life because I could have slipped down deep, deep, deep down. I could have slipped down the slope so hard. I literally could have slipped down so hard, but I didn't. I did not slip down the slope far enough that I couldn't get back out, or far enough that I lost sight of who and what I was, because I realized I know that my body can do things. I know that I am capable of doing things. I've been doing things and pushing myself my whole entire life. So based off of the diagnosis that you're telling me that I have, I should be able to do the things. So Mr. Mahogany would always say, in the last year or so, as I'm experiencing symptoms, and he hates to see me down. He hates to see me hurting. He hates to see me struggling. Truthfully, that's not easy for anyone that loves you. That's not easy for any loved one to see their loved one struggling or suffering or in pain. And I completely understand that. So he would often say to me, I don't understand why you always try to do things when you know that you can't, or why you continue to push yourself when you know better, or you know that that's going to tire you out, you know that that's going to trigger you. But I had to explain to him, I'm doing what I'm doing so that I never, ever, ever lose my independence. If I completely rely on you, which I could do because you're an amazing man and you will be there and you will be by my side and help me with whatever I need. But if I completely rely on you, I'm going to lose me. I'm going to lose my independence. And while I know that there are various degrees, it's a spectrum of experiences that this disorder presents with. And so some people absolutely do need a person. Some people absolutely do lose their independence. I was on the road. I literally was. But I had to pump the brakes on that. I really, really did, because I know me. And I didn't want to lose who I was and the things that I pride myself on, because as soon as I lost that, I knew that I was going to feel like, what is my point? Where is my worth? And that's not where it should lie. Is like, oh, if you're not independent, then you have no worth. But for me, it was a very big factor. And so I can only go off of who I am and what the situation was presenting for me. So I would always tell him, let me try it. Even if I fall 4 times trying to get off the toilet, and then I can actually stand up on the 5th time, then that was worth it, because I did it independently, and I force trained my brain that this is the specific task that we are executing and I need you to comply. When we want our bodies to do something, and we tell our brain to tell our bodies, hey, you need to do this, then those are instructions. Those are instructions that we're giving. That's not a suggestion to your brain or your body, because I'm the one in charge. So it's not a suggestion to say, hey, when you feel like it, I'd like to get up from the toilet. I'd like to walk today. If it's convenient for you. That doesn't work for me. That's not how I live. That's not going to work for me and my body. And the fact that I feel like my body sometimes is literally just like rebellious, I have to rein that thing in and be like, whoa, pump your brakes, because I'm the one in charge. So I have to exert some authority over myself and say, yeah, okay, you want to fall? Cool. All right, fall again. That's great. But at the same time, I'm going to trump you. I am going to come out victorious. And that's the type of perseverance that has allowed me to even sit here right now and create this podcast and to share this type of information with other people. That's the type of motivation that I have. And I just want to share and to help other people who are feeling like they can't, or feeling like they want to give up, or feeling like it's too hard. It absolutely is. but you don't have to give up. Because as soon as you give up, that's as low as you can go. So if you feel like you're as low as you can go, just keep going up. Just go up. It's going to feel even worse to have to claw your way up all the way from the bottom. So if you're slipping, catch yourself and tell yourself, hey, I'm in charge. And that's how you can continue to push toward maintaining any type of independence that you have. Your body has to do what you tell it to do, and it doesn't work that way. I know I'm not saying that you can snap your fingers and be some type of a guru, but at the same time, kind of, because when you are at one, when you are completely one from your head down to your toes, and you know that you inwardly have like all the control. You can control what you think about. You can control where your emotions go, what your reactions to them. You can control your certain behaviors. We can to a certain extent. And I have to get on myself all the time. This is the most, I literally treat my body like it's my child. So sometimes I'm so fussy with myself, and I'll say, hey, calm down. Like, we're fine. If I go into the store and I'm starting to feel overstimulated, you're okay. You're okay. We're just shopping. I literally will talk out loud to myself. And that is how I am able to maintain doing things, because if I fall into the fact of like, I can't, and this is overtaking me, then it absolutely is going to. And since I'm the type that I want to be able to go to the store by myself, I want to be able to take a shower by myself, I want to be able to take my daughter to her events by herself, I want to be able to just drive and go shopping if I want to. I want to have that independence, and I want the people around me, my loved ones, and those who would be my caregivers or are my caregivers on certain days, I want them to feel confident in the fact of she has it. When she says she's got it, she's got it. And so I'm going to give just a few of my tips that I have for the day. Just 3 tips. Here's the tips on FND and independence. So my number 1 is, you are probably going to have to, maybe I should just speak for myself. I had to release control to some things in order to maintain some independence. So it's a give and take sort of thing. You're going to have to release some of the control in order to maintain what you want to maintain. Don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Being stubborn is not going to work for anybody. It's not going to be helpful for anyone. It's not going to put anyone in a better situation being stubborn. I read in a book, here's a quote: understand your limitations and discern from experience when to push yourself and when not to. So it's not going to happen overnight. If you're new to the diagnosis, if you're new to experiencing symptoms, it's not going to happen overnight that you understand how much you can do and what your triggers are and everything like that. But from experience, you will learn when to push yourself and when not to. And that quote is from Cole Cohen, and she wrote a book. It's titled Head Case. I definitely would recommend it. She doesn't have FND. She actually has a hole in her brain. It was a super interesting story. But so you just have to do that. You don't be stubborn, but you have to realize that you're going to have to give a little to get a little. And so I can give an example for myself. There's certain times where I want to take Jalea to her things. And Mr. Mahogany was like, do you want me to take her to karate? I can take her to karate. And I'll say, yeah, you take her to karate so that I can be able to cook dinner. I would rather cook dinner some days than to take her to karate. Or if I felt the opposite a different day, then I would do the opposite. But we aren't going to be able to do everything. That is a part that has changed. That is a part of our independence, our daily lives that has changed. And I have accepted that. And so if it's not a great day, then I'm going to have to choose, what thing am I going to do? What am I going to give up? What am I going to allow someone to help me with versus what I really want to do? I had to prioritize the things that I most desire to do independently and then let someone help me with the other things. So if I desire to take independent showers. I want to take my own showers, get myself dressed. That's what I do. I want to conduct my own self-hygiene. And so if that's what I know that I want to do, but it's a really, really bad day, I'll say, hey, I'll tell Mr. Mahogany, I need to go take a shower. But after I take this shower, I'm going to need to lay down. So can you make sure that you keep an eye on Mommy Junior when I lay down? And he's like, yeah, duh, sure. Of course. But for me, that was a give and take. I want to be able to take this shower, and sometimes showers, yes, they do. For anyone who's listening who doesn't have symptoms, showers can wipe a person out. Showers are sometimes the worst thing, but we need to be clean, and that's something that I like for me. And so if that is a priority to me, I make sure to do that. If I want to do the shopping, I'm going to Costco today. I am going to Costco in the morning. First thing when I get up, I am going to go to Costco. But that might mean that I can't make lunch today. Okay. Those are the things that you have to talk about with the people around you and the people you love, and the types of adjustments that can be made in order to maintain some independence. And then along with that, utilize the aids that you have. Utilize the things that aid you. They are absolutely there. They have been created for a reason, that specific reason, in order to aid you. So if you are trying to hold on to your independence, you're trying to hold on to the things that you're able to do by yourself, utilize those type of aids that you have. Utilize the walkers, the rollators, the canes, the wheelchairs. Utilize those things. I remember when I was in the throes of my symptoms, I would make dinner from my rollator. I would literally roll it around the kitchen, from the countertop to the stove to the sink. I would roll it around the kitchen, and then Mr. Mahogany's looking at me like, I know you just don't want me to help you. And I'm like, it's not that I don't want you to help me. It's just that I have to do this. I have to be able to do this. Utilize the aids that you have. There have been so many days that I'm wobbling around. I've got my cane. I'm wobbling around the house, and I could just say, hey, I can't walk today. Throw the thing down and just sit all day, sit in my wheelchair and say, somebody wheel me around because my legs don't work today. But no, that's never how it's been. I utilize the aids that I have because I know, hey, my legs work. My legs absolutely work because there's no structural damage, right? So what I am expecting my body to do, it should be able to successfully complete. And so that's when I'm like, I just got to make this brain and this body be on the same page. So I'm getting up and I'm going to hold this cane here because I don't want to be stupid and fall and bruise myself or hurt myself, because that would be a setback. That would absolutely be an impedance on my independence. However, I am going to push and I am going to try. So when I gotta pee on the days where I can't walk, when I'm confident enough I can get there, I do. I stand up, and however long it takes, and I'm jerking and I'm doing all these things, but I get there. It might take me, there have been days it takes me like 5 minutes to walk, I want to say like 12 feet to get to the bathroom, but I do it. By all means, I could have someone help me, and I have someone here. I have Mr. Mahogany and Mommy Jr. They would help me, but that is not what I need to help myself. There's days that I even crawl there, because crawling to me is still saying, although maybe these feet aren't working so well, my upper body's working today, so let's utilize that. And I'm crawling. I will crawl my way to greatness. I will crawl my way back to independence, and that's just the type of person that I am. And so utilize the aids, contact who you need, get the aids. Don't be shamed, because if you don't have those things, then you're going to have to rely on somebody more. So if you don't have any type of aid and you're having a day where your feet aren't working, your legs aren't working, your arms aren't working, then you won't be able to do anything. Someone's going to have to help you places. But if you have those things set in place, you can say, hey, today's a rough day. What I need for you, person who's helping me, person whom I love, is to get my rollator for me. And from then on, I got it. I got this for the rest of the day. I got this. And I have weighted utensils for the days when my hands are trembling and not working so well. I weighted utensils because I still need to eat. I still need to feed myself. I still need to be able to do it. Get tray tables if that will help wherever you sit, so that you don't have to hold the actual plate if you're not at a table. Get anything that you need that will help you. If you have a difficult time with trembling and knocking over plates or anything, get one of those plates that suctions to the table. Get whatever is going to aid you. Please, please, please do not be too prideful. Do not be too proud to be able to take advantage of those things. They're there for us, and I use them. My next point I want to make is, don't lie and say you can do something when you genuinely don't think that you can. But when you can and someone is attempting to help you, tell them, I got this. And then that will build your supporters, your caregivers' trust that you can actually do the things. Because if you say, I got this, and then you fall, or you say that you got this and then you pass out, you say that you got this and then you get into a car accident, that's going to make it more difficult to have that trust from those people who just love you. That's all it is. They just love you. And so they're just trying to look out for you and your best interest in anything that they can help you with. So if you can do it, absolutely do it. If you can't, get some help. It seems like, well, duh, that's pretty simple. But it gets easy to forget those simple things when you're going through these complicated sorts of situations and emotions and environments. So if you can do it, absolutely do it. Because then I know now Mr. Mahogany and Mommy Junior will sit back and they'll say, don't push yourself too hard, or are you sure you got it? And I'm like, I got it. I know it looks crazy. I know I'm wobbling. I know I just fell into the wall, but I've got it. I know I just fell down 3 times trying to do this thing, but please let me try to stand up on my feet. And almost every time that happens, I regain my strength by the end of the day. Hey, body, you can do this, so let's do it. And then the last point that I wanted to make is that you can't forget that with a chronic illness that flares, your independent and dependent status is not going to be a static thing. It's not going to say, hey, I'm independent. Yep, I'm independent and I have this thing. Or no, I'm completely dependent on others and I have this disorder. I suffer with this thing. It's absolutely going to be variable, just like our symptoms, just like all the rest of the things that we go through. It's going to be variable. So if you can accept that and understand that as well, it will ultimately put you in a better position because your mindset is right about it. Like, hey, some days I'm going to be able to do more than I can on other days. And that's okay. Be as independent as you can on your good days. And then, hey, be dependent on your not so good days, because we know that more good days are coming. So then more independence is coming. We can't have what we used to have. We can't have what we used to have. That is a fact. We can have better than we used to have because we understand ourselves, and we can become even stronger than we've ever been. So that's my points for today for What's the Tea on FND and Independence. I'm having such an awesome time with the podcast. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at FNDT, same on TikTok at FNDT. Make sure you go to subscribe on the YouTube so that you can see the video podcast, because there might be some fun things that I like to show visually. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube at Functionality. Can't wait to find out the tea on the next episode. Until next time, be intentional, be faithful, and be humble.